Juicy tidbit time. And this is the best shot to keep your opponents back from the kitchen. Dekel, what is it?
The forehand roll.
The forehand roll. Especially if you're playing on the left side, you're going to need this. You can hit the forehand roll from here all the way over 70% of the court. But the forehand roll looks a little bit something like this. Oh, that's pretty good. I'll take over from here.
Right. Go ahead.
But the forehand roll, the big misconception when people see this is they think it's like a windshield wiper of a lot of wrist. And it really isn't. The premise is taking a ball that may be slightly below the net, at it or above, and keeping this back on a line that's going to hit the ground with some topspin and keep our opponents from coming up to the kitchen. And ultimately, we want to make them hit as many shots as possible. But the forehand roll is really important. So we can't just hit line drives because it doesn't create any topspin. And more importantly, if that ball is here, that line drive is going in the net. So we need a way to kind of get this ball up and over. And here at the lab, we see a lot of folks trying to be overly crazy with wrist. There is a place for wrist. Dekel's game has got a lot of it, but he's a 167th best player in the world, number 10. But anyways, so you don't like that? Sure. Okay, we're going to continue. But anyways, so the idea here is we're really brushing up from low to high on the ball. With mostly our arm, we have a stable base, but we're going from below the ball and up the back of the ball.
This is fun to watch Ryan struggle like that.
It's not a struggle, this is smooth. We're brushing up like this with the motion. We're not using the wrist to try to manipulate the ball like a tennis racket or a ping pong paddle. It's really a brush up, and that gives us the lift, and that gives you the topspin. And so whenever someone's getting overly wristy, it's going to lead to a lot of inconsistency. And here, I can generate a great amount of power and get this ball over the height of the net, back down at my opponent's feet. And yeah, it's like you got to be able to use it. You got to be able to do it 2 or 3 times in a row as your opponents kind of get better.
Yeah, for sure. Like most shots we play in pickleball, the more wrists we add, the more issues that we have, and the more something wrong can happen. So yeah, you really don't need your wrist here. Like Ryan said, down to up with your paddle face closed. That will give you the top spin and the shot that you need. For me, another big thing for this is recognizing when I can hit the ball from the air and having a good ready position with my chest forward is very helpful for that. Because if I'm here and it's easy for me to read if I can reach the ball or not. A lot of us are not in a great ready position. Then the ball comes to the kitchen and we take a step back. Our opponents come in and they gain more time to come in like that. If we're in a good ready position, we can recognize the balls that we can take from the air, and also we're just in a general better position to take that ball from the air and keep them back. So yeah, for me that is key, and you can also use this shot if you want to be aggressive. If you're all in the kitchen and if a ball comes to you that is just below the level of the net, and you can use it as an attack as well, so not just to keep your opponents back.
But once you nail this as hitting high drops or high resets, you can incorporate it in the kitchen. But you really want to be comfortable going to a variety of spots. So it's not just, you can have one pace to begin with, but you want to be able to bring that to someone's outside foot, to their body, to their middle, and to the outside if that opponent is back there in the corner. That's simply managing how open and closed this ball is. So if I want to go over here, I'm closing the face. So as I brush up, that's making kind of straight line contact over there. If I want to go out to the right, I'm opening that up a little bit as I continue there. It's not really more complicated than that. Pro tip in this juicy tidbit, if you want it to be a little heavier, a little bit more aggressive, you can start from farther below the ball. So maybe start a few more inches. So as you're coming up, you're getting a little bit more power on it. The other thing is, and this is not to get too crazy, but you can kind of angle the face to be a little bit more closed to the ball. So as you're coming up, you're kind of getting a little bit more of a brush. But that's something for you to work on in drilling before you bring it to your rec matches. Don't spoil rec. That's a good line. We should use that. Don't spoil the rec. But we can get pretty aggressive there, and that kind of has like 2 feet of action there. But anyways, keep your opponents back from the kitchen, make them work, use the forehand roll. Dekel?
That sounds great to me.
Sounds great to me. Go do it.
Keep him back.
Okay, hit the ball to the camera. Good job.